Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome back to Crime and Sports. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
And thank you for joining us for our Draft Day special.
Yay!
This is an NFL Draft Day special where we are going to bring you what is widely considered to be, and I believe might as well, I don't see anybody worse at this position, the biggest draft bust in NFL history.
Let's get it going.
Especially at quarterback, because your biggest bust is going to be quarterback because it's the most high profile.
Yeah.
And this guy is a complete fucking idiot.
The worst.
He's the worst. Hope you've been enjoying everything. Hope you like Gavin Grant, the UK football guy last week.
It's very weird.
That was a weird episode. That was just so strange. It's like British street drug gangs. It was like so cool. I had a great time with it. I thought it was a blast. But tonight we're going to go back across the pond to America and get into American football with Mr. Ryan Leaf.
Yes.
And, oh, God, it's so much fun. So much
really
fun.
Great.
Before we get into this, please rate, review on iTunes. It means the world to us, and it helps us move up ranks and eventually, whatever. Get more people listening, more people that listen, the happier everybody is. Yeah. So please, let's help us out. Help us spread this crime and sports movement. Help us out, please. We're doing it here. But let's get into Ryan Leaf right away. Let's not waste any time doing this.
Yes. Let's
do it. Mr. Ryan David Leaf.
Great name.
Great name. Born May 15th, 1976 in Great Falls, Montana.
Yep.
And Ryan's a big boy.
Yeah.
Ryan's a big kid.
Yeah.
He is 6'5", 235.
Like a farmhand.
When he came in, he's a big, corn-fed white boy.
Cattle rustling motherfucker.
Yeah. He goes to Charles M. Russell High School in Great Falls. He leads the team to a Montana state title.
Attaboy.
Now, that's a great accomplishment. I don't know if that's hard to do in Montana. There's like 14 people there.
And two schools.
And I don't think there's any black people to compete with, so that's probably pretty easy to do.
And a 6'5" is definitely the biggest dude there.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they all had... half the teams are probably staffed with cattle, like safety. Like, we'll put Bessie out there at safety, and then we'll,
He's throwing the football down is what he's doing. He's definitely doing that.
He goes to he thought about playing for the University of Miami, which kind of would have fit this idiot.
Yeah,
too. Like he wanted They were recruiting him as a linebacker.
Jesus,
that's a big linebacker.
Yeah.
He's a big boy, but they're recruiting him as a linebacker. He decides to go to Washington State instead.
Good old Wazoo.
Good old Wazoo goes there, and we'll find out why, because the coach that recruited him there called him. He was the Washington State coach, and he called Ryan Leaf
personally,
and he said, if you come here, we're going to go to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Which sounded ridiculous because Washington State hadn't been to the Rose Bowl since 1931 at this point, literally.
He's like Robert Rozier. Yeah. We're going to the Rose Bowl.
We're going to the Rose Bowl. That's exactly what this was.
Right.
But the coach is telling him this, and I can't help. I think it was Mike Price was their coach?
All right.
And yes, Mike Price was their coach, and I can't help but think he's a silver-haired, white, middle-aged gentleman. He just has to be.
He's got to be.
He has to be, because as you'll hear later,
I may have to Google that man's face.
Idiot.
Go on.
He's Coach Mike Price. Yeah, Google him, find out. I'm assuming he is. I don't know why I didn't look up his look, but I know his career. In college, he has a great college career.
Yeah.
His junior season, I mean, he was a beast. He was third in the Heisman voting, which, if you don't know anything about football, Heisman is the best college football player in the country that year. He was third behind Charles Woodson, who just retired and is a future NFL Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And Peyton Manning, who just retired and is a future
Hall of Famer.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was 1 and 2 in the Heisman balloting. He was 3. He had 3,968 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 11 picks in his junior year.
That's incredible.
We're talking, that's like 11 games.
Yeah.
This isn't an NFL
39 touchdowns with 11 picks. 34 touchdowns and 11 picks.
Yeah, that's a 3-to-1 ratio. Yeah. That's terrific. Shitload of yards in like 11 games. It's great. So, I mean, he's looking like a prospect. Takes Washington State to the Rose Bowl in his junior year.
He did it.
Actually did it. Took him to the road. They lose the Rose Bowl, but he played a hell of a game, too. I watched that game. He played a really good game. He's, they actually did it. So, I mean, for him to take Washington State to the Rose Bowl, and he has a cannon for an arm. He's one of these guys, big arm. He can make all the throws. And Mike Price, ladies and gentlemen, is a silver-haired, middle-aged, white gentleman with glasses. Exactly as we knew he fucking was. Unbelievable. What a shocker.
Weird.
There's
These guys just fucking say they're always around these scumbags. Anyway, go on.
So, yeah, Leaf's got a cannon for an arm.
Right.
Scouts, they like him. Basically, it's who's going to be the number one draft pick. Is it going to be Ryan Leaf or Peyton Manning?
Right.
That was obviously
Rose
the big
Bowl
thing.
champion.
We all know that. Peyton Manning
was the national champ, right?
No, he wasn't. But he was Peyton Manning.
He didn't win a national championship at Tennessee.
He did not.
No shit.
That was his big deal there. They ended up winning after he left with a shit quarterback.
That's what it is.
But not him. So Peyton Manning or Ryan Leaf, as we all know, that were 1 and 2. They go to the combine. Leaf puts on 20 pounds between the Rose Bowl and the combine.
Holy shit!
So he's not a real hard worker when it comes to conditioning. So
he's like, I'm going to the NFL. They either make me a coach or a quarterback or a lineman.
He comes in a bloated fuck, man. I'm telling you. So, I mean, and this is you can't doubt his physical skills.
Yeah.
For the NFL, 6'5", 235 or 255 by the combine, whatever, and a cannon arm.
He's a talented athlete.
It's a guy you want on your team, but there's some concerns. Pro Football Weekly in 1998 said about him in the negatives department, quote, very self-confident to the point where some people view him as being arrogant and almost obnoxious.
Yes.
That's what was said about him, and which sometimes you look at a quarterback and that's what Brett Favre had.
And
you go,
that's what Cam Newton is.
That's what Dan Marino was.
Yeah.
You go, all right, but you want a little swagger out of the guy, but not quite to the extent of this level of jerk off. As
he's like ultra dabbing.
Oh my God, he's a complete fucking idiot. And on the field, he's very emotional and things like that. And Coach Mike Price, our silver-haired gentleman of the week here, it's like we have an athlete, a dipshit of the week, and then we have a silver-haired white guy who helped him get away with shit.
Yeah.
Who propped him up. Coach Mike Price swears that once you get to know him, Leaf is a great person. If you have to say the words once you get to know him about a person,
he's a shitbag.
Not a great person right there. But he disagrees. Now, San Diego, the Chargers, they're in the number 3 draft pick position.
Gotcha.
Colts are at 1. Colts take Manning, as we all know. He plays there. We know Manning's history. San Diego's flip-flops trades
to number
with
2.
Arizona for number 2 to make sure to get Leaf. They can't let him out of his sight. They pick Leaf number 2 overall. They give him his initial deal as the biggest rookie contract in NFL history. He gets $31.25 million over 4 years with $11.25 million guaranteed. That's guaranteed money.
Big cash.
That's big cash.
Who did Arizona pick that year?
They picked, who was it?
God damn it.
I do have, they picked Andre Wadsworth. Andre Wadsworth, who was a total flop, blew out his knee, had the reconstructive, the break for microfracture surgery. Yeah. But other picks they could have had after Leaf in the first round include Charles Woodson, the aforementioned future Hall of Famer,
cornerback,
who went number 4 to the Raiders. Could have had him with the number 3, didn't have to move. Fred Taylor at number 9, who was a great running back for about 11, 12
plays, doesn't he?
He was great for, I don't think so, he's a running back, but I think
he still plays.
I don't think he played for a while, though. He played for like 12, 13 years. Jacksonville picks him. Number 11, Trey Thomas, the longtime offensive tackle for the Eagles. They pick him. 13, Takeo Spikes, the great middle linebacker for Cincinnati.
Fucking great player.
Number 21 is Randy goddamn Moss with Minnesota.
Wow.
About the 3rd greatest receiver in the history of the league.
Yeah.
But you take this dipshit. Fine.
Unbelievable.
I get it. You want a franchise quarterback. I understand what's going on. But this was not the right guy to take, apparently. Right away, it starts out a little shaky for him. Mm-hmm. He is fined $10,000 for missing day 1 of the rookie symposium.
Holy shit.
Right away he's an idiot.
He missed the actual day that they tell him
day
all
1.
The bad shit,
too. Not to do. That's maybe what happened to him. Maybe if he was there for that day, they gave him like some notes.
He missed orientation. I've heard a story, by the way. It's so funny. I forget who told me it, but he was an NFL player. They bring a woman in that's hot as shit, and she just goes, how many of you, if you met me, would buy me a drink at a bar? And like these 20-year-old kids, 18, 19-year-old kids in the back of the room are like whistling at her and like, I'll buy you a drink right now, bitch, and saying like horrible shit to her.
They're idiots.
And she lets them all catcall her and holler out all this shit, and then she goes, I have AIDS. And then they're all like, oh no, bitch, I wouldn't buy you shit.
I wouldn't buy you nothing.
It's too late, motherfucker.
Too late.
You already have AIDS by this point.
My God.
It's fucking awesome. So that's what Ryan Leaf missed out on.
He missed the AIDS talk. Too bad he missed the pill talk, I think, on day one. And watch out for
How many of you would buy me pills?
How many of you would steal pills from me? It would have been better. So Leaf said, after he got drafted, he says, I'm looking forward to a 15-year career in a parade through downtown San Diego.
Holy shit.
That's his hubris. The day after the draft, he goes to Vegas on the owner's jet. The owner lets him borrow the private jet to go to Vegas. Here you go, jerk-off 21-year-old quarterback. He parties all night long. He has a press conference in the morning that's introducing him as the new San Diego number one, $11.5 million guaranteed dollar quarterback.
Yeah.
And he shows up red-eyed. You can find the press conference somewhere. He is red-eyed, yawning through the whole thing.
Christ.
He's just like, he had a rough night. He tied one on, and then he shows up introducing himself to the world, which is awesome.
So he's essentially what is now fuckface Johnny Football.
Yes,
Johnny
and that's going to come back too, because Ryan Leaf is going to tie that in himself.
I love it. Okay.
He is going to. You'll see. There's a Johnny Manziel tie in here. So this is just idiots abound, idiot quarterbacks.
With the Vegas partying and everything, he's essentially he's fucking mirroring Ryan Leaf's career.
He's fucking idiot. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Leaf actually somehow lasted longer, I guess, because he got $11 million guaranteed dollars.
Right, because he became the starter.
Manziel was his number 25 draft pick.
On a team that had a couple extra quarterbacks. Yeah.
So he comes in right away. We'll get through the sports stuff into the crime in a second, but he's such an idiot. You have to know about his career, even if you don't know anything about sports. You have to know his career to see the pattern of what a fucking moron we're dealing with.
The evolution of this guy.
Yeah, the complete just falling apart of a guy who has the world by the balls.
Right.
And everyone's fawning over him. I mean, he's going to be great, whatever. Wins his first 2 games. And now he's sitting pretty. Yeah. I remember this. He was like, people
came out of the gate.
Rookie,
number 2 draft pick
Manning
overall.
Had a struggling rookie year, if you remember. He had more picks than touchdowns. So,
That's true.
They were looking like, the first 2 games, they were like, San Diego might have got the better of that deal, Then he just turned to shit after that. Things just, after the first 2 games,
that's all he could hold it together for.
Completely falls apart. He's doing dumb shit like, during the week, these quarterbacks watch film for like 14 hours a day. That's all they do. He's out like golfing at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. You can't do that if you're an NFL quarterback, especially a rookie.
Also, the AFC West was fairly competitive at this time, I believe.
It was competitive, yeah.
With the Chiefs and Raiders were both
good.
good.
The Broncos were bad at that point.
Yeah. I think they had Bubby Brister.
That was right after Elway retired, so that was like Bubby Brister Greasy, Bubby Brister. It was bad times.
Awful. Terrible.
Mm-hmm. Missing John Elway.
Yeah.
So that's basically what they were doing. So anyway, he gets through his rookie year. It does not go well at all. His rookie year is a pile of shit. His rookie year, he has a 45.3 completion percentage.
Wow.
So, I mean, less than half.
Yeah.
1,289 yards. Here's the stat. 2 touchdowns, 15 picks.
Wow.
15 picks.
I mean, without those picks, those numbers are pretty impressive if you're like the number 1 receiver on a team.
Yeah,
those are great.
Like, all of the quarterbacks are injured. You come in as the emergency.
Right, and you're an amazing receiver. That's great.
This is good for like a punter who played high school, or who played college quarterback in high school, and they bring him in because all their quarterbacks got injured.
But I mean, if you're the receiver and you're catching that amount of yards and getting that amount of touchdowns, you're incredible.
Yeah.
But as a quarterback doling that shit out to your entire team,
can't do
you
it.
are 100% garbage.
You're garbage. So he
that's 11 million pissed away.
1999 season, he is injured, done for the season, 20 minutes into training camp.
Wow.
Torn shoulder labrum, done for the year. 20 minutes in. Literally, like, he got his uniform on, got everything pressed, ran out there.
Threw 3 passes.
There were still guys tying their shoes in the locker room being like, what you back for, Ryan? You got to take a shit or something? And he's like, no, done for the year.
Did you forget your jock strap? What happened? What?
I don't have my pads on
your
yet.
Shoulder.
You're done already? Shit. So he's done, which obviously is awful. He things in training camp. He gets in a fight with a fan, has to be restrained because the fan's heckling him, telling him he makes Heath Schuler look like a good draft pick. It's a great insult. Heath Schuler's a United States congressman at this point too, which is funny as shit. But a terrible quarterback, drafted in the top 5 by the Redskins a couple years before that. It was a disaster. And he's a Republican congressman too, so whatever. But anyway, so yeah, he gets into a fight. He's held back by security and all that. And also too, in his rookie year, the most famous fight of all is this tirade he gets into with the San Diego Union Tribune reporter Jay Posner. He asks him a question, and Leaf just says he's not going to answer questions anymore if he keeps asking him. Guy asks him again, and you see Leaf on this video. And we all saw it a million times. You look it up on YouTube. Brian Leaf freak out. I'm sure you'll find it. He stands up and throws something down, and like a child that has a tantrum, he said, just stop. I'm not going to talk to you anymore, all right? I'm not going to. Just leave me alone. I'm not. He starts freaking out, and this poor guy is sitting on a bench, and Leaf is standing, and he's 6'5", 240, 22-year-old athlete, and this poor bastard sitting there with his notepad in his hand, like, this guy's going to kick my ass.
A 22-year-old athlete with $11 million in the bank and a fucking career that's already imploding.
Oh my God!
At this point.
Yeah, because they're asking him about his poor play. That's the point. He's having a shit fit. Junior Seau, as we know, is a Hall of Fame linebacker
also
who ended
dead.
up killed himself, shot himself. That Junior Seau. He's restraining him on the video, pulling him away, and he's like the team.
He's
veteran.
great at restraining people.
He's great at restraining lunatics, apparently. And that was a huge deal too. That was like amazing.
Just leave me alone.
In 2000, he has a good final preseason game, throws a game-winning touchdown pass against Arizona, and the cover of SI the next week, Sports Illustrated, was a picture of Ryan Leaf, and it said, "Back from the brink." And it was a fluff piece on how he's going to re-emerge as this amazing quarterback, and that didn't work out.
No.
He ends up having a god-awful career.
He was still on the brink.
Another terrible year in 2000, 11 touchdowns, 18 picks. San Diego finally gets shit cans, and they're done with him after 3 years. They're leaving money on the table. They're paying him to leave.
Go away.
Go away, you're a jerk-off. Causes untold problems. 2001, he marries a San Diego Charger cheerleader named Nicole Lucia. They are separated in 2003. Later divorced, obviously. Clearly, that's not going to work out.
His career isn't going to last. How's a marriage?
Duh. She's a fucking cheerleader. So he goes and plays with Tampa for training camp of 2001. Is asked to take a pay cut and a demotion to fourth string. Fourth string? Who the fuck keeps 4 quarterbacks, number one? Fourth string. That's basically the peanut guy.
Was that the year they won the Super Bowl?
2001 it was, 2001.
2001 they won the Super Bowl, and who did they win with? Was it Dilfer?
They could have been a fourth string. Brad Johnson.
It was a Brad Johnson, right?
Yeah,
so Brad Johnson, and then 2 other guys, and Ryan.
So, but he says no. They cut him. Dallas, of course, the only franchise that picks up jackasses besides the Raiders, but they take it to the next level, Dallas. Greg Hardy, what'd you do, slam a woman's head in the toilet seat? Come on down, buddy.
What was the other guy's name? You killed your teammate in a DUI accident?
Problem.
Come on, stand on the sidelines for the Thanksgiving Day.
We'll get into Greg Hardy when we do the Domestic Violence All-Star team, because he's the captain.
Domestic Violence All-Star
We're doing the Domestic Violence All-Star team. Yeah, that's in the future, guys. It's like one of those summertime when things are real slow. Domestic Violence All-Star team.
We'll charge things right up.
It's coming, guys. So, he goes to Dallas, has a terrible season there. Shocking, doesn't play that much. 494 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Pile of shit, basically. 2002 signs with Seattle, but he's released. But he retires before the season starts. They give him a chance. Mike Holmgren gives him a chance. He
2004?
retires. 2002.
2002.
He retires at the end of the season, age 26.
That's it.
He says, I'm done.
26 years old, he's
done. So he has injuries and blah, blah, blah. But Mike Holmgren later says that he said his wrist didn't hurt there in Dallas. Thinks he was just using it as an excuse because he just didn't want to do it anymore, basically. So he's done. Before we get into the crime here, career numbers, 21 games started.
Yeesh.
$11.5 million.
Yeesh.
So he's like making half a million a game. Basically to start. Was 4-17 career as a starter.
Wow.
48.4 completion percentage, 14 touchdowns, 36 picks.
I feel like I could put those exact same numbers up. I'm a 35-year-old, 5'8" man.
Yeah, well, I feel like this is if you play like all pro level on Madden. This is what your numbers are, you know? He has a 50 quarterback rating. And
that is dreadful.
Career yardage of about 36.66. So he had more yardage in his junior year of college than
he did in his entire career.
But he made
a lot more money.
Yeah. Rodney Harrison, who's a broadcaster now and an NFL player for years.
Did he make the Hall of Fame yet?
He should if he
didn't.
Will. He's great. He said, quote, "He took the money and ran."
Shit, yeah, he did.
"Personally, I could never rest good at night knowing my career ended like that. Normally, you get back what you put into it."
Says a man with Super Bowl rings.
Says a man. Normally, you get back what you put into it, and he pretty much got back what he put into it. $11.5 million in the worst stat line I've ever seen in a quarterback.
He got way more back than what he put into it, though. He was pretty good at getting a return.
Plenty of dough back.
It's like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, so speaking of that, what does he do next? Speaking of Ponzi schemes, he doesn't do a Ponzi scheme, but he moves back to San Diego to become a financial consultant.
What the fuck?
Who would consult this guy on what to do with their money? I'd rather give it to Lenny Dykstra. Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not doing anything that you
Holy
do, sir.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I will invest in Eddie Johnson's fucking VCR pawning business before I will give this guy a dime.
I'm going to invest in Ed Hardy stock first.
Fucking unbelievable. So apparently that wasn't very successful because in 2004 he decides he's going to go back to school at Washington State, his alma mater. He's a hero there. They love him. Goes back there, graduates with a bachelor's in humanities in 2005. So
the humanity.
The humanity that's about to come, because then it falls apart. On a side note here, his younger brother Brady is the backup quarterback, and he's a cornerback too at University of Oregon.
Today?
Ducks. No, he wasn't.
Oh,
2003
then,
through 2006. So he's a backup quarterback up there. I didn't either. In 2006, he goes and joins the West Texas A&M University coaching staff, football team, as a voluntary QB's coach. And from his statement, it sounds like basically he's just like, I want to go hang out around college shit. No one will hire me.
I like football.
No one will hire me. Hey, you mind if I hang around?
I once got a paycheck from the NFL.
Yeah, does that qualify me?
I can give you some pointers on what not to do.
Let me show you my Rose Bowl highlights. So he joins them as a QB coach. In 2006, he said, this is when shit falls apart.
Yeah.
Crime coming right around
up
the corner. 2006, he says, quote, in their own words, fire it up.
Here we go.
He says, quote, about a year after retiring from playing, I decided I wanted to go back to college where I had the greatest time of my life and get involved with college football. Yeah, I want to go back and drink beer and then be a jerk-off frat boy.
Glory days.
Yeah, he's actually going to think he wants to do it, though, for real. He's like,
I want to make some kid do an atomic push-up.
He's like 30 years old.
Right.
He's like 30, and he's like, I wanted to go back to college and be a jerk-off.
Run around with my balls out and put my ass in a dude's face.
He does this, that's what I'm sure he did a lot of it. Then we get to November of 2008, where one day out of the blue, he's put on indefinite leave of the coaching staff and then resigns the next day because there's a shitstorm coming. Resigns from here for allegedly asking a player for a pain pill, an injured player for a pain pill for his wrist, which is a big no-no.
Right.
As a coach, you can't ask one of your college athletes for some of their pain medication. And it's deeper than that, because a lot more comes out. At one point, before this happens, this is the last crest of good time for Ryan Leaf here, and I'm going to give you in their own words about it.
He's on the wave right now, and it's about to crush.
It's about to crush down.
About to
he
turn
says,
over.
quote, when playing football became a job, it lost all its luster for me. I kind of got out of the spotlight, and life has never been this good.
So much for that fucking
Hang
college
on to that.
was the good times.
Enjoy that feeling, Ryan, because it's about to come crashing down real hard, because it's not working out there. He goes to Vancouver, British Columbia, where he becomes a business development manager at a travel company.
Oh my God, he's selling fucking timeshares.
Packages, he's basically he's a horrible
How
human
much
being.
is spent on hotels, James?
At this point, how another timeshare? No more. Oh God, it's terrible. In September 2010, he starts writing a column for CougFan.com, which is a fan site for
Website, right.
Washington State Cougar fans. Wrote 9 columns at Washington State. All the fans loved it. Became very popular. So popular that he signs a deal with Crimson Oak Publishing to write 3 memoirs with the theme of hope, possibility, and determination. Okay?
Oh, no.
But there's a problem there because before that,
there is no hope.
he is also, if you want his book, it's called 596 Switch, The Improbable Journey from the Palouse to Pasadena, released in 2011, which is even funnier now knowing what happened after that. Because that when the book was released, he was just recovering from this little stint with crime that he had here that we're about to talk about, which was just an introduction to his little world. In May of 2009, he's indicted in Texas for burglary and controlled substance possession. At the time, he is in a rehab facility in British Columbia. Apparently, the timeshare business was too much for him, and he couldn't take it. He's in a rehab program. They're whatever. He's indicted there, so he doesn't even know it because he's in a rehab facility
in another country.
He hears about it. According to him, tries to re-enter the country to go turn himself in Texas. Stopped by customs agents. Yeah. You're wanted in Texas. Yeah. There's a fugitive warrant out for you, which is a big fucking deal.
Interpol's looking for you.
Yeah, so his lawyer actually fights for and blocks the fugitive warrant, saying he was in rehab. He didn't know about it. This was his first opportunity to re-enter the country and come to Texas. That's what he was doing. Let him turn himself in. That's what he wants to do. That actually works. Yeah. And he's allowed to come in and turn himself into Texas.
He can clearly still afford a pretty decent lawyer.
He's got a good lawyer. He's got a publicist at this point, too. They say that his publicist had no comment.
Still got a little bit of cash.
Still got a little cash, yeah. Maybe he's put in some annuities like Eddie Johnson.
Got a Roth IRA or some shit.
Yeah, something. So June 17, 2009, he posts $45,000 bond in Washington for his Texas problem. I guess they're just letting him transfer it so he doesn't have to do it. At this point, he's accused of also breaking into players' homes for drugs, for players he knew had drugs. He obtained, this is the whole thing he's arrested for, he obtained over 1,000 pain pills from pharmacies over an 8-month span. Wow. He had a little thing where he was stealing prescriptions. Yeah. He was getting shit mailed to him. He was burglarizing. Yep. He had this whole thing, and this was right after his life's never been this good. Right. Life's never been more out of control now.
Life's never been this numb.
Shit is bad. Yeah, so he's fucked there. He pleads guilty in Texas, April of 2010. He pleads guilty in Texas. There's nothing he can do. 7 counts of obtaining a controlled substance by fraud and 1 count of delivery of a simulated controlled substance. These are all felonies. Yeah. Gets 10 years probation, $20,000 fine. Wow. His first offense. He's never done anything.
10 years probation.
He's saying he's a player. He has pain. Right. And, he's addicted to drugs. He's an addict.
I believe he was going from doctor to doctor also. And since then, they've tightened up laws on it. Yeah. But you could go from doctor to doctor and have him sent to different clinics.
Absolutely.
You could drive around town one day and drop at different
That's what he was doing.
Pharmacies and just scoop up an enormous amount of pills.
And at the same time, robbing people for them, too, and borrowing them from players.
All pilled up.
He is just give me as many pills as I can. He's like Eddie Johnson with cocaine. That's him with pills. I need pills. Where are my pills at? I mean, he is a pill, and we'll get into more insane pill things here. So he's on probation. Things are fine. Not so great, because in June of 2011, he has a benign tumor removed from his brainstem. So he has a surgery for that. So maybe that's why he's such an idiot.
Yeah, maybe that's constricting the blood to the brain.
It's not like his frontal lobe or anything. Well, you figure, maybe this is like the bell tower shooter in Austin, Texas. Maybe he had whatever.
Maybe he just needs a lobotomy.
Now, Leaf gets to March 30th, 2012, and supposedly all is well. And then he has a bad weekend. He has a real bad weekend.
In
Ryan
March,
Leaf.
Where at? What city?
This is in Great Falls, Montana.
Montana.
He's
back home. Yep.
Where
he's comfortable doing dumb shit.
Where he's comfortable, and he has he must have just said, I'm getting all the pills I can this weekend. I don't give a fuck.
I'm going to get my lifetime supply this weekend.
It's on. So Friday night, March 30th of 2012, he's arrested. He's found a bunch of oxycodone pills are found in a golf bag of his in his house. That his friend accused him of stealing from his home.
How did they find those?
Well, the friend said he was in his house without his permission and took his golf bag.
All right.
And so he took his golf bag and his pills, and it was the friend's prescription was on the pills. So he just jammed him in the golf bag. Jammed him in the golf bag, stole that. Yep. The guy said, you didn't even have permission to take the golf bag, never mind the pills. Let alone my pills. And so he's arrested for that. At the time, he tests positive for drugs.
Of course.
He tells the police he's taken about 7 oxycodone pills in the last few weeks. Bullshit.
Yeah.
A lot more than that, including one the day before, which, yeah, okay. He posts $76,000 bond. So, I mean, he's still posting bond. He's still got a lawyer.
Yeah.
Then next Monday, after that, 3 days later, he's arrested again.
Oh, no.
And accused of some more shit, some more breaking and entering problems outside of Great Falls. And this is where it gets really crazy, man. He just, this weekend, I don't know what this guy was thinking, but he went on a bender. I mean, that's all you can say. The friend said he had no permission to enter his house. On Monday, when he's arrested, the search of Leaf's truck turned up 28 oxycodones that he had no prescription for. He had...
28 pills goes so fast, too.
Well,
when you've got an addiction,
more. Don't worry.
They are absorbed and gone in a minute.
Well, in his house, he also had 89 loose hydrocodone pills in the pocket of a bathrobe. That's where he kept them. He's like, no one will search my bathrobes.
I'm going to lay around in the bathrobe, watch some Judge Judy, and pop these like M&Ms.
Hydrocodone pills and get a fucking nice buzz going.
Yeah.
So he's got pills all over the place, in the golf bag, in the car, in his house, in a bathrobe. He's stealing pills because on Sunday, the day before he gets arrested on Monday, owners of a home walk into their home. They find, quote, a tall man with an athletic build just standing in their living room. Just hanging out. And the guy
like he had an appetite for pills.
Looking like he needed some pills. And the guy said, oh, I'm sorry, I have the wrong address, and left and walked out the door. That was his response to it. That's amazing. That's how you know how fucking white all these people are, too.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Because they were so like, he could just get away with, oh, my bad, wrong address, and leave.
Wrong
and
place.
They were like, what?
I wondered why this couch looked different.
And the people were like, I don't know, everything seems fine. Or maybe it was really, they were like, what a weird occurrence.
Was that Ryan Leaf in our living room?
Yeah, they're like, what a weird occurrence, until they needed to take their prescription later that evening, and they go in and they say, oh, wow, 3 bottles of my prescription medicine are missing from my fucking medicine cabinet. Wonder what happened there.
I wonder if it was that giant man.
It was that big guy with the wrong address in the living room. So they call the cops, obviously. They describe Leaf's truck. His clothes, his, quote, shiny black loafers, because a lot of people saw that. What the hell is he wearing shiny black loafers around for? What a dick. What kind of a dickhead. You're in Montana.
He's a classy pill popper.
Yeah, you're in Montana, too.
Yeah.
Who cares? Put a pair of fucking Reeboks on and go rob houses, you pill junkie scumbag. So,
we're in Missoula, goddammit.
God damn it. So then they also pick him out of a lineup. They're like, yeah, that's the guy.
Pretty easy to find that man.
Fucking worst draft pick ever. I know him. So they said they search his home. After that, they find all these pills in the bathrobe. They get a warrant to search his GPS also, to check his GPS. Very smart. It showed that he was indeed in the driveway in the time frame of the burglary. His house was there. Also showed that his truck went to over 10 other houses in the neighborhood and was in their driveways. So police started checking with people, going, hey, check your houses, make sure you don't have any...
Check your medicine cabinet.
You don't take hydrocodone or oxycodone or anything, because if you do, it's not in your cabinet anymore.
It's not there anymore.
So be careful. So literally, he wasn't stealing anything else. He was stealing pills.
It's in our perp's urine stream.
He might have went in a dozen other houses and just didn't find any pills, and so he left.
And just dipped. Yeah.
So, I mean, but then other people in the area, once this all came out, tons of people started reporting that they had their prescriptions stolen. Right. So, I mean, they were checking into that, but they didn't have proof because nobody saw it. But they were, like, in this area, they had a little, like, an area that they pay, that just tons of people all over. So this guy was serially, basically, probably, allegedly, definitely a few of them, but allegedly... Probably
when
stealing.
When there's smoke, there's fire.
All just going around, just breaking. I don't know if people don't lock their doors in Montana. It's probably not a big security.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's a lot of.
It's like one door,
there's a lot of door locks.
You probably just pop your credit card in there and lock it open. I think it's one of those things. So yeah, that's terrible.
Got a feeling there's a lot of windows open too, because in the summertime it's beautiful up there.
That's the thing too.
And springtime, this is March. Windows are open.
Yeah, I mean, he says. He says at this point, basically, his quote here is, after his first arrest, this is great in their own words here, quote, "I've made some mistakes, and I have no excuses. I'm confident that there will be further understanding when the facts are revealed."
No shit.
Yes, further understanding of how many people's houses you fucking robbed for pills. You jackass.
That's like a beautiful blanket statement for like his NFL career and post-NFL.
That's his whole life.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know if that's about the arrest or not. That might have just been everything since I was 12.
Yeah,
made some
everything
mistakes,
since Game 3.
Yeah, since Game 3 of my rookie year. We won those first 2 games, guys.
And then I've made some mistakes.
I saw an interview with him. It was so funny. It was before the 4th game of the year in his rookie year.
Yeah.
They were 2-1, and he's like, "Look, guys, man, it's not a big deal. We win this game this weekend. We're 3-1. We're in a good position right now." So it's like so funny because it just went the complete opposite way. Things went in the shitter.
So that's like after Game 4 then, when he was 2-2. It's just like, I've made some mistakes.
I made some mistakes. Look, guys.
I love that. Just
made some
That's
mistakes.
a great starting apology. That
Listen,
one sentence.
I have no excuses.
I've made some mistakes. Yeah, and I have no excuses.
But
But
the truth will come out when the facts are... You know someone's full of shit in a criminal situation when they're like, when the facts come out,
Right.
I will be What are the facts? Just tell us if there's such exonerating facts. What are they?
And by the way, the truth will be revealed when the facts are presented. That is, you just said the exact same thing.
Well,
yeah, the truth will be presented.
rather than saying the sentence, the truth will be revealed when the facts are presented, use that time to just tell us the fucking facts that reveal the truth. You
Stop
fucking idiot.
wasting your breath,
Stop.
you fuck.
So at this
You
point,
just said you've made some mistakes. You just apologized for the truth, by the way.
You idiot. So at this point, he's making court appearances because he's bonded out. He's making court appearances. He gets in trouble and he's being a jackass in court. Of course. Being an idiot in court.
Arrogant
Jackass.
Arrogant is what they said.
What? Confident to the point of almost being obnoxious?
Yeah. And arrogant.
And arrogant. He was the judge. He got in trouble from the judge for wearing clothes that he was instructed specifically not to wear.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was wearing like a "suck my cock" T-shirt or something.
Don't show up in FUBU. I'm wearing FUBU.
I'm wearing FUBU. He didn't like his shiny black loafers. Like, I don't like shiny. What are you?
What are you? What's going on here?
What are you, Sammy Davis Jr. in my courtroom?
You're wearing baggy jeans and black loafers? What is this?
He was found in contempt of court when he wouldn't cooperate when addressed. He was just like ignoring the judge. They were like, Leaf, Mr. Leaf.
Mr. Leaf, like, you're going through withdrawals. Can you please focus?
He's like, nah, I got time for you. He was served papers in court and refused to sign them and threw them on the floor. So they had to like physically make him take those in court.
He is awesome.
He's a total fucking idiot,
They're
this
making
guy.
a pile of the shit they want him to read.
Oh, it's great. He's charged with 2 felony burglaries, 2 felony criminal possessions of a dangerous drug, 2 misdemeanor thefts, and a probation violation. Texas,
10 years, yeah.
Texas rearing its ugly head.
Yeah, no doubt. They are strict.
Texas, at this point, issues an arrest warrant for him and sets his bond at $126,000 because he violated his probation. On the 8th of May, 2012, he files a plea agreement with in the court for 1 count of felony burglary, 1 count of criminal possession of a dangerous drug. Strikes a plea agreement. We get to June 19th, 2012. It's his sentencing. He is sentenced to 7 years in Montana prison.
In 2012.
Yes, with 2 years suspended if he abides by the conditions imposed by the judge.
So he gets 5 years.
So these conditions include he's supposed to spend the first 9 months of his sentence in a lockdown drug facility.
Yep.
But he gets kicked out of there for being a fucking moron. He gets shipped off to Deer Lodge State Prison on January 17th, 2013 for, quote, behavior that violated the conditions of his drug treatment placement and threatening a staff member.
So now he has to serve 7.
Yeah, threatening a staff member. Director Pam Burke of the program wrote that, quote, Leaf was, quote, too great a security risk to leave in a community setting and that the staff had exhausted all resources in keeping him there. It basically said, we deal with drug addicts. That's what we do. Right. Jerk-offs are our fucking bread and butter. Right. He is the biggest jerk off. There's just nothing we can do with him.
He's a 6'5" man behaving like Linda Hamilton in the Terminator.
And he will not take those loafers off. We've told him specifically no loafers in here.
Put your fucking house shoes on.
Come on.
Right. They're provided for you, for fuck's sake.
The issues that he had in there were that Leaf told his roommate that he wanted to drag one of the program staffers by the hair. So then he had to write, Leaf had to write in this thing, and this is so like rehab, like this makes me like just, it makes me want to die inside. When
Clearly smoking a Marlboro Red while he pens it.
No, it's just one of those stupid rehab things. He had to write a, quote, thinking error report.
Oh, Christ.
Write a report on how your thinking was flawed. Right. Like, it's just so stupid.
Thinking error. He's got a
stop doing pills.
A brain that's polluted with fucking hillbilly heroin is gonna try to write a what? A
thinking error report. It
he
sounds
doesn't
like
even
in
know.
Fourth grade.
Yeah.
Like you tell a kid, you sit down and write your thinking error report of why you shouldn't have thrown that eraser at little so and so.
Thinking it's so politically correct.
In the report,
it's just called a fuck up paper.
It's a fuck up paper. Yeah, it's a jerk off report.
You're stupid, right?
Write
Why?
this up on your JO fucking R there. Jerk off report. He said he wanted to, in the report, he wrote that he, quote, wanted to throw the staffer against the wall and smash a glass into the man's head. So he had a plan anyway, which is more than I could say for most anything else he's doing. So I give him credit, honestly. That's the first thing he planned out in years.
I wish we were in a bar. I'd blast him in the face with a beer mug.
And the funny part that I have about this is, at this point, there are people 10 years ago that gave him money to invest for that. There's people that are like, I gave that guy money. How stupid do they feel at this point? Like, not only was he a terrible quarterback, but holy shit.
Yeah. San Diego Chargers gave him $11 million fucking dollars.
How do they feel? Let him borrow the private jet. Jesus Christ. He's going to go to Vegas and be an idiot. So, anyway, he ends up going to, he finishes that. They send him to prison. In prison, he's talking about drugs in jail, obviously,
of course.
And he says
he can't wait to get out.
I think this is great too. He says that quote, this is a good. This is a long quote, but it's a good one about him. Which it's so him too, and some of it's just so wonderful. Quote: it was pretty rampant in there. The drug use. Quote: it was pretty rampant in there. Pills, which were my thing too, those were really prevalent. The guards would bring them in. I was always worried. It was my biggest worry that they would just toss them in my cell one day and plant stuff on me and I get stuck in jail longer and longer. You always need to toe the line with them. One of my friends told me, if you ever want to see the worst people in the world, go to a prison at shift change. That was the running joke there. That's his fear. That's his, I figured that's him, inoculating himself for when they find shit in the cell. I'm so scared they're just going to plant it on me. What? What is that? I don't do that. I was in rehab.
I'm so scared they're going to plant it on me.
Where
we found these pills in your cell. I told you they'd plant it on me. I told you they
were going to plant it on me. Complete jerk off. So after a couple of years, he's actually paroled. But May of 2014, he is put in the Crossroads Correctional Facility in Montana, which is like a rehab type place.
That's a popular one, is it? Crossroads?
I don't think it's that.
No?
That Crossroads. No,
okay.
no. This is.
Right.
I think this is just a shitty correctional facility that they named, ironically, Crossroads when no one's crossing any road except
Ryan Leaf.
Yeah, except Ryan Leaf to get to another neighbor's house to rob with his shiny black Michael Jackson patent leather platform shoes shining in the sun.
With his knockoff Bruno Mollies.
In the Montana sun. That's all he had left from his playing day, a real nice pair of shiny shoes, and god damn it, he was going to sport them. The house was gone, the cars were gone. Yeah. These shoes
are $11 million shoes.
$11 million. What do you get for $11 million? Look at these loafers. That's what you get, pal. And a nasty pill habit.
An arrogant attitude.
A really arrogant dipshit attitude. I can still wing that ball. He is. That's where he's going to serve the remainder of his sentence. They're kind of transitioning him in because who knows if he's been doing pills in jail. Right. They don't know, so they bring him in there to go out. August 27th, 2014, the Texas judge sentences him to 5 years on the probation violation.
Right.
5 years each for each drug charge. But it's a suspended sentence, and they're basically saying that it's time served with Montana, and they're basically okay with what Montana's doing in their path. Release him to rehab and then parole him.
Agreeing with their sentence.
So he is actually released from prison, paroled, on December 4th, 2014. He walks out a free man.
Wow.
Ready to go out there and take in the world.
Pills.
Pop some pills, shine up those shoes, and he's got he kind of lays low for a while.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, recently, 2016, early 2016, he's been fucking everywhere.
I did hear
He's
him
on the Dan
talking.
Patrick
Yeah.
show. He's everywhere.
Talking about he's writing another book.
He's writing another book because he has a 3-book deal.
Yeah.
That's out
right.
there. He still has a 3. That's only from 2010.
He's only had one out so far.
And that's a 3-book memoir
So
deal.
he's got
I
2
suppose
more.
He got out of it for prison. That's extenuating circum. They gave him like Gavin Grant's lawyer. Like, he's still training. He might be under the charges, but we haven't dropped him yet. So he's doing that. And now and I feel like everybody right now is like, they're writing so many like Ryan Leaf redemption stories. It's like, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Okay? He has a long history
remember
of this
Sports
shit.
Illustrated?
Yeah,
They did this
back
shit
from the
too.
brink. Yeah, that's what they're doing now. Repeatedly with him. He's this guy that, like, I don't know what it is. If you show promise at throwing a ball when you're 18, people will just repeatedly let you fuck up.
They just want to root for you.
Middle-aged, silver-haired white men will just keep giving you chances. I'm sure this judge was a middle-aged. It's like, it's just unbelievable. And I don't, honestly, me personally, I don't know. I hope his life is going well.
Yeah.
Like, he had a girlfriend, I know, with him in the Dan Patrick show. I don't know what delusional bitch this is.
What
that's hanging out
crazy
with him.
broad.
But, I mean, I guess she's one of these people, too, that's like saw the flash. If you see flashes of greatness, people just let people get away with murder with this.
Right. And then with their ego being stroked for so long, they're just like, I can get away with it.
Exactly. And I don't buy the fact that he's coming out now with the whole Johnny Manziel thing. That's what the big thing is now. He's out there acting like he's like the big brother of
learn from me, learn from me.
The big brother of fuck up draft bust quarterbacks. That's what he is, basically.
He's just going to embrace it.
And he is, and he's going around, and I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I hope he's not on pills. I hope he's got his life together and all that kind of thing, but he might still be a fucking disastrous pill addict because that shit comes back hard on people.
It's hard to shake that shit.
It's hard to shake it, and he might have pain, too. That's the other thing, too.
He probably does.
He probably does.
He
had surgeries, wrist surgery, shoulder surgery. I mean,
4-17, is that what his record was?
He got the piss pounded out of
Yes,
him
that's what I'm saying. He was going to get smashed. He threw interception after interception. He was rushed.
And you play football from the time you're a high school kid. You have aches and pains and whatever. So, I mean, whatever. I'm not judging the guy for his... I'm not judging... I'll never judge, and I know you're the same way. I'm never going to judge somebody for a drug problem.
No.
That's why I've been asked by multiple people, are you going to do Lawrence Taylor? Are you going to do Lawrence Taylor? And I don't want to fucking do Lawrence Taylor.
It's just
for
drugs.
reason number one, he's my favorite athlete of all time, and I could not be unbiased and fair to the audience.
It's hookers and blow. It's the dream. The man had the dream.
But the drug thing was 98% of it. Darryl Strawberry. I'm not going to do Darryl Strawberry because it's all drug addiction.
Drugs.
But this
Doc Gooden's
this
the same
guy
way.
was a special kind of an asshole is why we're doing this, because those guys weren't breaking into people's houses and burglarizing. This is a different thing.
And he fucking blew it.
Yeah.
Those guys actually fulfilled their promise.
They
did what they were supposed to do. Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor is the greatest defensive player in the history of football.
of football.
If you don't think so, eat a dick. Go look up on YouTube Lawrence Taylor highlight reel. Watch it.
It's crazy.
It is you looks like he's playing with children. He's
he
grabbing
defined
people.
how you play the linebacker position.
Yeah, he
the man was
pass
an
rushing.
Right.
So let's not. Yeah, so it's hard. Anyway, off the subject completely. But I feel like whether he has got his life together or not, I feel like he's using Johnny Manziel as a way to get himself on the Dan Patrick show and act like I'm just trying to be the Godfather and give a big brother and give advice. Right. And, oh, by the way, my book's coming out next year. I feel like it's one of those things.
You're trying to push your book deal and then meet more people so you can get into people's houses.
And he wrote those articles. I feel like he's trying to get into the media, too.
Absolutely.
I feel like he would love the Ryan Leaf national radio show or the Ryan, whatever. He would love that. He'd love to be an analyst. Not that anyone's going to fucking hire him, but he would love to be an analyst. He'd love to be one of those Sunday morning jerk-off roundtable fucking circle jerk sessions that they have there where they,
How many guys, too, have made such huge mistakes, gone to prison, turned their life around, and then were just a success the rest of their lives? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen that often.
Right.
I mean, this guy's got, especially with a massive drug problem.
Right.
That's the thing.
But we've already covered guys before that have gone and talked. They went and spoke to places about who was it that did it? Jason Williams, too.
Jason Williams. Eddie Johnson was speaking to kids all summer before he was selling crack to undercover officers on video.
Jason Williams, he's going, learn from me. Yeah. Don't look at my past. Look at how I act now.
Not guns.
And by the way, when I leave here, I'm going to throw a few back and hit a fucking tree.
Yeah, hit a tree, shoot my limo driver, buy horses and cattle like an idiot. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So this idiot here, Ryan Leaf, says about Johnny Manziel. Here's another quote. Quote about Manziel. Quote, it's like a mirror. It really is. I listen to and I hear stuff that's being said and what's going on, and it's like a mirror to me. I can relate to certain things. Yes, you're a jerk off also. And he's saying it's...
You're a jerk-off drug addict that was a first-round draft pick that is a fucking bust.
That's a bust.
Your career is shit. And Johnny Manziel is told already by Drew Rosenhaus, Drew Rosenhaus will not represent him till he goes to fucking rehab and figures his life out.
Leaf actually reached out to his old agent to get a hold of Manziel and got like his number to call, and he said he's trying to reach out to him. He's trying to tell him of the path that's going.
Johnny, don't call it back.
Yeah, and it's like also too... They're going to end up doing pills together in Vegas. That's what's going to happen with these two idiots.
That's it.
You don't want to get these two together. Probably.
Ryan Leaf's going to get a hold of him and say, you've got a deep checkbook. Yeah. That's all it is.
I want him out of prison for a good 5 years before I trust him to mentor anybody, okay? Let's get you...
You're out for 2 years right now.
Not even.
Right, you still smell like a lockup.
He got out in December of 2014.
You don't wash that off in 2 years.
No.
You still stink.
He is barely out of prison and he's still in the parole program and all that. Let's see when you're on your own out there not being drug tested on a regular basis before we go crazy.
Your bones are still built with the prison food.
Yeah, exactly. But so he's out there being an idiot with that and trying to get the attention with Johnny Manziel. And he tried to get a hold of him, and I wouldn't tell him and all that.
Don't call him back.
Don't call him back.
Don't.
And no, he's not going to listen anyway.
No.
Would Ryan Leaf have listened to
Absolutely
somebody? No,
not.
because he's on top of the world.
Right.
He thinks he's hot shit.
Right.
You got to let these people fade out, and then in 10 years we'll do a story on Johnny Manziel breaking into people's houses and stealing hydrocodone.
I hope
from
it's
them.
sooner. I really do.
I have a feeling he'll be.
The
a
guy's
bit
a
sooner.
piece of shit.
He keeps getting arrested. He keeps doing stuff. He's gonna kill someone by accident one of these days.
It's gonna be a DUI
or like a drug overdose at his house where there's like a weird situation, and then we're gonna dig deep into it.
He's having like a 6-person orgy, and then one of them just fucking strokes out in the middle of it.
Shit! Yeah, they had like some weird experimental, like Eastern European ecstasy shipment that came in, and it's a mess.
And it's super strong, and they didn't know.
Yeah, and they're looking around. He's like, shit, oh my God, she's dead. What am I going to do? And she's like, who's that guy in the living room, the tall guy with the athletic build? Who is that? And he's like, sorry, wrong address. And he just walks out. The fuck? Thought you were trying to never mind. Screw him. Thought he was my mentor. So yeah, guys, that's Ryan Leaf. Right now, you can catch him, like I said, makes tons of media appearances. If you look up Ryan Leaf, like 2016, it's just all radio, national, Dan Patrick interviews.
Find the YouTube of him freaking out. That's the
Find
best
the
one
YouTube.
anyway.
We'll put it on our social media when we release this. We'll release it. We'll release the pictures and all that, and then later on in the day, we'll also tweet out the video of him freaking out, going, leave me alone, right? Leave me alone.
His voice cracks.
I have a 9-year-old son, and it sounds exactly like my 9-year-old son when he freaks out, when he's mad because he didn't make a basket or something. He's like, you just didn't go in. It's not fair. He runs away. I quit. That's what he did, basically. I need to get Junior Seau back from the dead to rally him, but it's not working with Leaf.
Console your boy.
Console the boy. But that's Ryan Leaf. Guys, we hope you enjoyed our draft special.
So fun.
We had fun doing it. Give you a little bonus. And every once in a while, if something weird happens or if we get an update on one of our cases that we've been doing earlier, like if they decide what the hell's going on with Jimmy Snuka or things like that, we'll throw out a bonus episode. We'll release it on Thursday, and we'll give it to you guys.
You know what? I'll go out on a limb. And when Ryan Leaf fucks up again.
When he fucks up again.
Because it's happening.
I'm
confident in that.
Yeah, it's going to be back. So
I'm looking forward to
the
revisit.
And when somebody gets out of prison, we'll let you know about that. But we're going to do this, so hope you enjoyed the draft special. Thank you guys so much for listening. We're going to let's do our social media thing. Please follow us on Twitter at crimeinsports, crimeinsports@gmail.com, facebook.com/crimeinsports. Jimmy, you want to hit him with your info?
At Whisman Sucks on Twitter and Instagram, WHISMAN Sucks, and Jimmy Whisman on Facebook.
And I am at Jimmy P is Funny. And you can find me, James Pietragallo, on everything else. If you can figure out how to spell my name. Good luck with all that.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. Join us next Tuesday, of course, for a new episode. We have a really, really interesting one coming at you. That's a twisted little tale of murder and deception, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much. We will see you next week.
I can't wait.
Bye!
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.